Nicky, how do you sum that up? Obviously a pretty deflating evening for your mob. What have you said to you guys? How do you sum up the evening?
Just an incredible frustration amongst all of us. We get glimpses of who we know we can be, and then we have periods of time where we look so far off fundamentals and execution and decision making. So frustration's where it sits at this point.
You finished so well last year. You had glimpses of, like you said, a team that looked like they could and probably should have played finals. Are you able to sum up why the drop-off has been so great?
I felt tonight was... we played a very good side tonight, and I felt we were in the game for majority, but not playing well at all. Although what we did have right was a system that we hadn't seen in the first 3 rounds. So we got, an area of our game back to where it was last year. Unfortunately, that exposed some of our execution and our ball use at the moment looks so clunky. And that can come off sometimes a little bit of a lack of confidence, in where the group sits and a bit of pressure that you're under, sitting at 0-3 and 0-4 now. And that's where the frustration comes in, our ability now to play our way. We look so slow with the ball tonight at times, which is not us. And sometimes that can come off a lack of form.
Do you feel like they're dealing with a bit of lack of confidence at the moment?
Oh, there's no doubt. We've got too many players at the moment that aren't at their best. And so that can hurt your transition. That can hurt a passage of play where you look, like damaging, look threatening, and all of a sudden someone will make a decision where the game it's not what the game needs at that point for us. And that's where the frustration comes in. We've got to find our way through that. We've got to be able to build our confidence back to where we know it can be. We've got to look at our team from a selection point of view and get guys in that are going to be able to play the way we play. So at the moment it's hard for us. We're working our way through it. It's hard for our members and our supporters that come out and watch, because at times it is really frustrating to see. We'd love to be just a little bit cleaner and clearer with the footy.
Do you have enough players with that class and polish at the moment?
Well, we do. We've got the players there that can do it. I mean, we've shown it. We're not too dissimilar to where we were last year from a list point of view, or the selected team. Unfortunately, we've got a few that just aren't at their best. We've got a couple of young guys who are. I mean, Saligo tonight showed, where he continues to develop. I thought he was our best, or one of our best. But too many that aren't where they need to be.
I think you said the team had never been under more pressure in your time as coach heading into the season. But the evidence in the first months suggests maybe they're not coping with that expectation.
Yeah, I'd say in the first 3 weeks we were missing. We had a fair bit of our game that was off. In fact, we weren't even seeing our game. We were trying so hard in those first 3 weeks. And unfortunately, when you look back on that, that comes off of pressure, no doubt. That's players wanting to perform, wanting the team to have success, but misunderstanding what's needed and losing their way. Tonight wasn't that. Tonight we had great structure. We saw our system come back. We played a team with incredible structure, and so the game was in the balance. We had a chance. Obviously, the period of time in that second quarter where we dropped right off and they punished us, and that was the game. Otherwise, we finished the game strongly, but we're too far out of it at that point.
How do you keep the faith now? I guess history would say one team in 40-odd years has played finals from this position. Given that was the expectation at the start of the year, how do you keep that confidence in that?
Oh, we'll never give up. We're 0-4 at the moment, but we're in the process where we're looking at how do we get our game back. And I'm mindful of tonight was one of the most frustrating games for us to watch. However, we had some stuff in that was right. We got back to our process or system of how we play footy. So we've now got to do that, and we've got to find our form. We've got to find our decision making, back ourselves in. Take a little bit of that fear out of our game.
What gives you that optimism that you can be the second side in 40-odd years to do
Well, I know the side that I'm coaching, and I've seen them, as short a time ago, 6 months. I know they can perform at a level higher than we are now. So I'm confident that we're going to find our way through this. Tonight was a small step in a certain area. We got still a hell of a lot of work to do, but I'm confident in the group.
How's the players' morale?
Well, I think it's a word I mentioned. It's frustrated. Sitting in the room with them, they feel the same way. And it's okay. It's individuals who know their form's not where it needs to be. So they're going to put their head down, they're going to go to work, and they're going to find that form, that belief in themselves and that confidence so we can play our footy.
How do players do that, Matt? Like, you can't manufacture belief, you can't artificially create confidence.
No.
What do they do?
You get to work. You do the work. There's no other way to do it. We had a really strong off-season. At the moment, we're struggling to find that form we had. We'll get there. But as with a lot of people now that support the footy club, we're frustrated. But we'll find our way.
Matt Crouch's time on ground, I think it was 66 or 67% for a guy who was in career best form. Is he all right?
Yeah, Matty's fine. Yeah, Matty's fine. That would have been part of our system and what we went to tonight. As I mentioned, I thought we had a couple of things through there. I thought Josh Rochelle played a really important role for us tonight. Might not look like it on your stat sheet, but for us it was. I mentioned Saligo. That obviously Matty playing a little less time tonight gave him an opportunity through the midfield where he took it. So there will always be different reasons for that.
From a personnel perspective, you made 5 changes. I know a couple of them were enforced, but
Yeah.
are there any other levers you can pull, do you think, to help get the side going, particularly in the forward half?
There's always guys ready to go. It's a matter of us whether we make that decision, whether we feel that guy's ready to step in and do a better job. It's quite a step up from SANFL to AFL level. So we don't want to make the wrong decision there. But there are guys ready. Lockie Gallant's played already this year and playing good footy. The boys haven't played it for a while at SANFL level. They've had a few buys in there, so we'll have to have a look at that. But we're always looking at what's going to make the team better.
How are you going, Matt, personally? I mean, there's a lot of talk about what happens contract-wise, you re-sign. How do you take the heat of a Zip 4 start? And traditionally Adelaide hasn't been overly patient with teams that don't make finals, not to be disrespectful, but how do you deal with the heat that probably will come your way at some point? Yeah,
and that's understandable. That's performance. We're here to perform. I go to work the same way I talked about our players getting confidence. We put our heads down during the week and we work through what needs to improve. We help our players with that. We give direction around it. We came into tonight's game feeling really confident that we'd bring effort every week, but we knew we'd bring that system back in, and we were able to do that. In a week, it's going to take us a little longer now to get that polish right. But again, I'm confident in the group, and so it makes it easy for me to now go to work again this week, find out the next step of what makes us better. Sorry, I missed that.
Any update you can provide on Pete Mayo?
I don't have an update on that yet. Apologies.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.